Some crimes shake the world to its core. Some mysteries remain unsolved, lurking in the shadows of history. Tonight, we uncover the most chilling, baffling, and disturbing true crime cases that defy logic. From mysterious disappearances to gruesome murders, these are stories that will leave you questioning everything.
The disappearance of Maura Murray is one of the most perplexing missing person cases in modern history. On February 9, 2004, the 21-year-old nursing student vanished after crashing her car on a rural road in Haverhill, New Hampshire. Despite extensive searches and investigations, her fate remains unknown, fueling speculation and conspiracy theories. Maura Murray was a student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, studying nursing. She was a bright and athletic young woman with a promising future, but had recently experienced personal difficulties, including academic struggles, disciplinary issues, and possible relationship problems. On February 5, 2004, Maura was working at a security desk at her dorm when she reportedly broke down crying for reasons that remain unclear. She was escorted back to her dorm by her supervisor. On February 7, 2004, she reportedly crashed her father's car while borrowing it for the weekend. On February 9, 2004, she sent an email to her professors stating that there had been a death in the family and she would be leaving town for a few days. However, no such death had occurred. Maura withdrew $280 in cash from an ATM, then purchased alcohol, including vodka and boxed wine. She packed some clothes, her school books, and toiletries, but left behind her jewelry and makeup. She then drove north toward New Hampshire for reasons that remain unknown. At 7:27 p.m., Maura's 1996 Saturn crashed on Route 112 near Haverhill, New Hampshire. A local resident, Butch Atwood, a school bus driver, stopped to offer help. Maura told him she had already called AAA, which was false, as no call was ever made. Atwood went home and called the police at 7:42 p.m. When police arrived at 7:46 p.m., Maura was gone. Her car was locked and the driver's seat airbag had deployed. Her wallet, credit cards, and cell phone were missing, but her bags and alcohol were inside the car. Theories about Maura's disappearance. 1. She ran away to start a new life. Some believe Maura planned her disappearance based on her withdrawal of cash, odd email, and packing of essentials. There have been no confirmed sightings of her since, suggesting she may have gone off-grid. 2. She died in the woods. A common theory is that she wandered into the woods after the crash and succumbed to the cold. Extensive searches, however, have never found her remains. 3. She was abducted or met with foul play. Given that she vanished within minutes, some believe she was picked up by a stranger. The area where she disappeared is remote and dark, making an abduction possible. 4. A second car was involved. Some believe a second vehicle may have stopped to help, but Maura may have accepted a ride from the wrong person. There were no reports of another car, but tire marks near the scene suggest someone may have driven away with her. The case remains open and active. In 2019, new searches were conducted near Loon Mountain, New Hampshire, but nothing conclusive was found. DNA testing has been performed on bones found in the area, but they were not Maura's. The disappearance of Maura Murray is one of the most baffling missing persons cases in U.S. history. Despite numerous investigations, podcasts, and documentaries, her fate remains a mystery. Will we ever know what really happened to Maura Murray? Until new evidence emerges, the case remains one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries. The Hinterkaifeck murders remain one of Germany's most chilling and mysterious unsolved crimes. The gruesome killings took place at a remote farmstead in Bavaria, Germany in March 1922, and to this day, no one knows who committed the crime or why. Hinterkaifeck was a small isolated farm located between the towns of Ingolstadt and Schrobenhausen, about 70 kilometers north of Munich. The farm was home to 6 people: Andreas Gruber, 63, the patriarch of the family; Cecilia Gruber, 72, Andreas's wife; Victoria Gabriel, 35, their widowed daughter; Cecilia Gabriel, 7. Victoria's young daughter. Joseph Gabriel, 2. Victoria's baby boy, rumored to be the product of an incestuous relationship. Maria Baumgartner, 44. The family's new maid, who had only started working there on the day of the murders. In the days leading up to the crime, bizarre and unexplained occurrences unsettled the family. Andreas Gruber noticed footprints leading from the forest to the farm, but not returning. The family heard footsteps and unexplained sounds coming from the attic, but they found nothing when they searched. A key went missing, and one of the doors appeared to have been tampered with. A Munich newspaper showed up at the farm, but no one in the family had bought it. Despite these ominous signs, the family did not leave or seek help. On the evening of March 31st, 1922, an unknown assailant brutally murdered all 6 people on the farm. The killer's method was particularly gruesome. Andreas, Cecilia, Elder, Victoria, and young Cecilia were lured one by one into the barn and slaughtered with a mattock, a type of pickaxe. 7-year-old Cecilia did not die instantly. Evidence suggested she remained alive for hours, tearing out tufts of her own hair in shock and agony before succumbing to her injuries. Joseph, the toddler, was killed in his crib in the house, likely struck in the head with the same weapon. Maria Baumgartner, the maid, was murdered in her bed just hours after she had arrived at the farm. The bodies were not found until April 4th, 1922, 4 days later, when concerned neighbors went to investigate why the family had not been seen. When they entered the farm, they found the 4 bodies in the barn, covered with hay. Inside the house, they discovered Joseph and Maria's bodies, also partially covered. The crime scene presented several unsettling details. The killer had stayed at the farm for days after the murders. Food had been eaten, the livestock had been fed, and smoke was seen coming from the chimney. No valuables were stolen, ruling out robbery as a motive. The murder weapon, a mattock, was found hidden in the farm months later. The autopsies revealed all victims had been killed, with precise, brutal blows to the head. Despite an extensive investigation, no one was ever arrested. Several theories emerged. 1. The incest motive. It was rumored that Andreas Gruber had an incestuous relationship with his daughter Victoria, and that Joseph was their child. Victoria had been seeking financial support from a local man, Lorenz Schlittenbauer, who some believe could have been the killer. Schlittenbauer was one of the first people to discover the bodies and allegedly disturbed the crime scene, but there was no solid evidence against him. 2. A stranger in the attic. Given the reports of strange noises in the attic and the footprints leading to the farm, some believe that a vagrant or escaped prisoner had been hiding in the attic for days before murdering the family. 3. A revenge killing. Victoria was known to have a large sum of money, and some theorized that someone who knew about this killed the family out of revenge or greed. 4th, a serial killer. Some believe the crime was the work of a wandering serial killer, but no other cases exactly match the brutality of Hinterkaifeck. Why was the case never solved? Lack of forensic technology in 1922. Fingerprints and DNA analysis were not available. The crime scene was contaminated. Many curious locals walked through the house before police arrived. The remote location. The farm was far from any major town, making investigations difficult. The farmhouse was demolished in 1923, a year after the murders. In 2007, a German forensic team claimed they had identified a prime suspect, but refused to reveal the name out of respect for surviving relatives. To this day, the case remains one of Germany's most haunting unsolved mysteries. The Hinterkaifeck murders are a terrifying real-life horror story, a case filled with ominous signs, gruesome deaths, and an unknown killer who may have watched over the farm for days after the murders. It remains one of the creepiest and most disturbing true crime cases in history,